Hey guys, what's going on? This is Travis P11. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel. And today we're going to do a little tabletop review of the Browning high power pistol. This is the first Browning product we've actually featured on the channel before, and I'm pretty excited to share with you the details of this pistol, to let you know what the shooting experience is like, the accuracy, and so on. But first, this pistol was provided to me from Stan, the owner of SS Pawn in Lexington, Nebraska. SS Pawn has been a longtime supporter of the channel, and Stan has been loaning me firearms from his private collection for years now, and I've been able to bring them to you on the channel. So guys, make sure you check out the contact info for SS Pawn down below, and they will take care of your firearms needs. Okay, the Browning high power, man. Okay, first things first, let's make sure we're clear. Okay, we're clear, good to go. This is, I guess you could argue, along with the 1911, one of the great granddaddies of modern pistols. There's a lot of features on this gun that we still see on firearms today. This particular model, I guess we're just going to call it the target model. I can't really find a whole lot of details on it. I'm teaching myself about the Browning high powers as I shoot them and get used to them and so on. I've seen one other one for sale on Gunbroker, and what the person said about it that had it for sale was that it was made in the 1980s, like the late 80s, 89 or 90 or something like that. And that's pretty much what I'm going to go off of for this model. I mean, it's got some fairly modern touches to it, but it's not brand new. Now, it is Belgian manufactured. Okay, it is an authentic Browning firearm. Okay, it does have the gold trigger. This is from the factory. The Pachmayr grips, they're like a target grip. I don't know if these are from the factory, if these were added. There are Pachmayr grips that I'm seeing online, photos of this particular model, but they have like a medallion in the grip, so we don't know if they're aftermarket. I'm assuming they came from the factory because you do have the adjustable target sight. So before we get into the actual, aesthetics of the firearm and so on, let's just go ahead and talk about the specifications of this particular pistol. Okay, so the Browning high power, what do you need to know? Production dates on it are showing as being 1935 to 2017. They just recently went out of production with 1.5 million plus being manufactured. Designed by one of the co-designers was our Lord and Savior John Moses Browning. The mass on it weighs 2.2 pounds. The length is 7.8 inches. Barrel length is 4.7 inches. They've been chambered in different calibers, 40 Smith & Wesson. This one's in 9x19 or 9mm Luger, and also 765x21. Short recoil operated, semi-automatic, single action like a 1911. Effective firing range on that's 54.7 yards. Capacity, 13 or 15 rounds in 9mm or 10 rounds in 40 Smith & Wesson. And that pretty much sums up the basics of it. So the pistol itself, let's just talk about shooting it. Let's talk about the design. What do I like about it? What do I not like about it? Yeah, that's right. I got a few minor criticisms for the pistol, but, you can learn to love this pistol. I'll just say that right now. So starting at the top, the overall finish is just beautiful on this thing. I'm assuming this is a brushed stainless finish. These also come in a nickel finish or blued. And the top, it is a bit shiny, a bit glossy, but your front side does have some ribbing on the front that gets rid of the glare up in the front there, which is really nice. The rear is adjustable for windage and elevation. Okay, you can adjust the sights if you want to. The sights, just one criticism about it. Shooting at the range, I was shooting at the Nebraska Outdoor Education Center in the indoor range, and it just seemed like the lighter targets, at 25 yards, I really had trouble picking up the bullseyes, especially if this is kind of blended in with the background, especially if it's a light background or backlit at all, you kind of lose the front sight. So I'd like to have maybe something to distinguish the front sight from the rear, although just holding it and looking at it, I mean, it's perfectly distinguishable to see where your front side is. So that was one little criticism that I had, was maybe I couldn't see the front side as good as I wanted to, which could have affected some accuracy. But otherwise, I mean, it's still awesome, absolutely awesome. You do have just a standard hammer on the back, okay? And again, we are clear. A bit thin up on the top, definitely thinner than a 1911, so it's a little bit awkward when it comes to charging it. I tend to do a top charge when I charge it, but it is thinner, and the serration zone is fairly narrow, so you really need to get a good grip on it if you're going to charge it, slingshot it from the back or whatever you do, but again, I do a top charge. Looking at it, you've got kind of an extended slide stop, slide release, and so we'll go ahead and actuate that for you. And you can see how it locks back the pistol. Now there's a couple notches here on the back. You do not have an ambidextrous nor reversible safety nor magazine release. So that's one thing about the pistol. It is biased towards right-handed shooters, just to let you know. It does have a magazine disconnect in it, so it cannot be fired unless you have a magazine in it. And I'm sure there's ways that you can bypass that and get around it too. Do have your mechanical safety, thumb safety on the rear. I'm going to go ahead and just do the takedown for you real quick because it's actually very simple. So go ahead and eject your magazine. And what you want to do is you want to take it so that your safety catches this little notch right here when you pull back on it. Push up with your safety so it locks into place. Then you're just going to push on this side right here, and your takedown pin is going to, oh, you have to lift up on it. Pop it, comes right out. Okay, pull back on the slide. Oh, yep. Push down on your safety lever, let go. Sorry guys, I've only done this one time. And here you go. Well, twice, I guess you should say. Once to disassemble and once to clean it. So inside design, for being an older pistol, it's still very modern. You do have a non-captive guide rod and spring. Okay, you got your barrel. And it does have the tilting barrel, classic design right there. Beautiful barrel. Nice grooves in there, nice and shiny. It is a little bit oily because I had just finished cleaning it about a day or two ago. Have not had a chance to really wipe off all the excess oil, but did come out really well. Okay, reassembly is real simple. Just got to push the guide rod and your spring back into place. There you go. Make sure it locks into place so that both flat edges are right there. Slide it back on and lock it back how you did before. There we go. Sorry, it's a little hard to do this from an angle, guys. Push your takedown lever back in and lift up, snap it down, and you are good to go. All right. A few more design features. The trigger, okay, this is my other criticism of the pistol itself. It's very flat and the edges are sharp. So after about 100 rounds, it does start to dig into your finger a little bit. You know, a lot of your triggers tend to be a little more rounded or have some ribbing in them. That was weird. The Alexa system on my home security system just started talking to me. Okay, let's move on. Again, the trigger. Comfortable, but it will start to dig into your fingers after about 100 rounds. The edges are a little bit sharp, but I mean, it's nothing you can't. I mean, you can totally get used to it. It's not the end of the world, right? Magazine release. The magazines do not freely release. They are fairly abrasive. That's about as far as they go. And this gun has not seen a lot of firing, so it's not like this is worn out, but you can hear the friction when they go in there. And this has even been cleaned with CLP also. So, I mean, it's not like this is, you know, dirty or anything like that. So, but the magazines do not pop right out, but not a big deal. Magazines themselves, I'm assuming these are made out of aluminum, like a brushed aluminum. They could also be maybe a brushed stainless, but they do say Belgium on the back of them. It does come with 3 13-round magazines, so you can run 13 plus 1 if you want to. You can go cocked and locked, one in the chamber with your safety on if you want to, like a 1911. And, okay, the actual trigger itself, okay, it just kind of rotates, and then it stops. Snaps. Very, very crisp. It feels a lot different when you're actually firing it than it does dry firing it, but that's just kind of my opinion. Nice and tight. There you go. Back on it. One more time. And that's it. Okay, so not bad. Now the Pachmayr grips, I absolutely love them. It is a kind of a chunky, wide pistol when you hold it in your hands. It feels a bit weird. Like it's very wide at the base and then very narrow at the top, but the balance feels pretty good. When I showed off my cleaning video, there was some concern about the beaver tail. One of the comments that I heard was, hey man, are you getting any kind of hammer bite at all from when you fire it? You know, is the beaver tail offering you any kind of protection? And yeah, I had 0 issues with it at all. I had nothing get me at all. I mean, the webbing in my hand is right on the line right here, but it's perfectly comfortable. You can get a pretty good purchase on it. With it being kind of a bulky gun, your grip is being pushed out a little bit to the left more than I would like, but you can still get a nice two-handed grip on it, and these Pachmayr grips do grip really well. You can see the rear back strap. It's nice and aggressive. The front too, I mean, they are a rubbery material, but they do stay planted in the hand good. You got these nice little thumb guides, I guess you could say, on both sides. Okay, so let's talk about the actual accuracy of this pistol. I shot it fairly well. 5 yards and 10 yards. You know, many people can shoot good at that distance, no problems. 15 and 20, the group kind of opened up just a little bit. And like I said, I noticed at 25 yards, it was a little hard for my front sight to pick up the target. Maybe it was just the type of target that I'm using, but it seems like if you don't have any kind of contrast with that front sight, like I mentioned before, it's a little hard to pick up that front sight. So I did have a little bit of trouble with the accuracy out to 25 yards, but I got a feeling if you practice with the pistol, you'd probably get fairly proficient with it, I'd imagine. Very comfortable to shoot, very low recoil. It felt a lot like my Beretta 92 FS compact. Almost felt about the same in terms of just the recoil and just the shooting experience. But overall, I mean, these high powers are awesome. And unfortunately, the prices are going up on them too. With them no longer being in production, you know, you're starting to see the prices really get up there. Especially if you want to find yourself a new one. So you definitely want to look around before you buy, because the prices on them are kind of all over the place right now. There's a lot of clones out there. There's the T-Sauce Regent 9, I think is what it's called, which is very, very similar to this model. I mean, it's not a Browning pistol, but it is close. It'll get you in the kind of the high power clone market for around 550 bucks. But these guys, you know, the sky's the limit. This model, I think they run around, this particular pistol, when it was advertised on Gunbroker, they were asking $17.99 for it, so $1,800. So would I buy one? You know, I just think as a piece of firearm history, I think everybody should own one of these. They are very smooth shooters. They're very comfortable. They're very easy to use. I mean, could you carry one? You know, they're thin, but you do have that bulky grip. But for some people, that's not really an issue. Yeah, I think you probably can still carry one of these if you want to. It's heavy, don't get me wrong. It's got some weight to it, but it's also a substantial pistol. I mean, it's really, really feels good in the hands, high quality, and so on. So that is my overall take on the Browning High Power. Again, I want to thank Stan at SS Pawn for loaning it to me. It was a joy to shoot. It was awesome to take it apart and learn how to clean it and put it back together and just you know, take it out and shoot it for what it is. This target model, again, like I said, with the adjustable rear sights, awesome starter pistol. If you want to pick one up, this would probably be the way to go, unless you just want to go with the standard model. But otherwise, it's not much else I can say. It's just a great little shooter if you get a chance to pick one up. And if not, you know, get one at the range if you can. So that's it, guys. I'll be bringing you a lot more content to the channel. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, gunchannels.com, guntube.org, Gunstreamer, and UGEtube. We're all over the place. And make sure you mash that bell so you don't miss any new videos or new contents coming up. But in the meantime, everybody, I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. Y'all take care and have yourselves a great weekend. All right, bye-bye.